it applies so much to the things that I face. And so I look at that as that preparation that he's already preparing. He's already preparing that even though we may not know exactly what we're going to face, but he indeed gives us what we need to be able to get through things, And so I wanted to share that. I don't know about you all, but this week has been one of those weeks for me. It has not been a bad week, thank God. It definitely has not been a bad week. But it has been a week that it seemed as though so many things were coming up. And I had to really look up to him and say, Lord, I need you. I need you to make sure that I'm able to do these things in the way that you would have me to do them. And so I'm telling you all that things do come up. They do. Even this morning, I ran into some challenges this morning, but I thank God because as he was working on me this morning, and I share with you all a lot how I love to look for messages, for spiritual nourishment, for fill-ups. And sometimes they come to me. My dear friend, Otis, sends me something every morning. And so when he sent that message to me, it was working already with the Spirit, with what the Spirit was already talking to me about. And you know, sometimes it really is time for us to realize it's time to move on forward, to step out of our comfort zones, to really embrace what he has for us. And then I looked at something that Perfect Patty shared, I believe, on yesterday, where she was talking about how you can get things back. Don't get focused on what was lost or time that you feel as though was wasted. And I also shared on yesterday about us learning lessons and gaining lessons through the various things that we face. And so I wanted to share those things because, as I stated, he has really been working and speaking, and I'm encouraging all of us to continue to draw closer to him for direction, for instruction, for the strength that we need with all of the various things that we face. Because for him, there's nothing that's too great or too small, because he truly cares for us. And so whatever we face, I want to remind us of that. Whatever we face, we know that we can count on him to get us through. And so this week, and this is something that I normally do not do on a Friday, but I remember saying on Monday, it's a new month. And at that time on Monday, it was the beginning of a new week. And I was talking about changes. And so it came to me that maybe just a recap of what we've already been discussing this week may be appropriate to remind us of the directions that he may be leading us into. Like I said, it's a personal relationship with him. So he may speak something to you on a different level, but these are things that keep coming to me. So on Monday, we talked about Minister Monday. And we talked about how all of us have the capacity to minister to others through our various roles that we may have on our jobs, in our churches, in our communities, and various things like that. We can let others know about what he has done for us in our lives. So Minister Monday. Then on Tuesday, we talked about talents. And the word was just really emphasizing the importance of reminding all of us that we have talents and that our talents make room for us. And that when we really begin to use our talents for his purpose and his plan in our life, we will begin to see things move and shift. And we're blessing others by utilizing those talents. Then on Wednesday, and I have to keep emphasizing this one because as I stated, with this week alone, who Wednesday? Who we can go to for our strength, our comfort, our healing. And we know who we can go to for that. So who? And I want to remind us again that his line is never busy. And whether you think it's too small to bring to his attention, he cares for us. So remember that when you're going through, and you feel as that no one understands, you feel as that no one really cares, we know someone who does care. We know someone who does understand because he created us. So I want to remind us of that. And then on yesterday, we talked about timing Thursday, and how sometimes our timing can be off. And Lord knows he had to work with me on that on yesterday. Our timing can be off, but in his timing, he's so on point with his timing. He's never late. His timing, things begin to be revealed, and you're able to see who is really in control, because sometimes we begin to think that we can do all of these things on our own, but we have to remember where our help and where our strength comes from, and that's from him. So in his timing, things are revealed. And so this morning, 2 words were kind of plaguing me. 2 words plaguing me in a good way, because I'm like, 2 words. So the first word is for Friday. For Friday. And we know that for can mean intended to belong to or be used in connection with, suiting the purposes or needs of. So for. And so when I thought of for, I thought about how God is for us. And I thought about that with him being for us, we know that he has us covered. We know that he cares about us. We know that he loves us. We know without a shadow of a doubt that he will bring us through, because he's already been doing that. We've made it to today. And so if God is for us, then we have no need to worry, because we know that God is going to see us through. And as the song says, standing on the promises, not the promises of man, not the strength of man, but standing on the promises of the Lord. So he's for us. So I want us to think about that for just a second. For. Then forward came to me. Forward. Directed toward a point in advance. Moving ahead. Onward. So if he is for us, then that means that we can move forward through him from the things that may be plaguing us and keeping us from stepping outside of our comfort zones, using our talents, ministering to others, because he is for us. And so we can move forward from the various things that are trying to hold us back, that are trying to keep us from giving him the praise, the glory, and the honor for the things that he is doing for us in our lives. So he's for us. He's for us. Good morning, Sister Tara. He's for us. And so forward, moving forward from those things that have hurt us, from those things that may continue to creep into our thoughts, from those things that keep us from moving at the pace. We talked about pacing also yesterday. The pacing that he wants for us to move in his timing. So he's for us. He cares for us. He created us for a purpose. He has great plans for us. That sometimes when we start feeling weak, we start feeling discouraged. As I've stated before, we begin to get distracted, and we begin to forget that he has given us everything that we need. Everything that we need. And all things are working for the good for those of us who love him. We love him. So he's working things out for us. Even right now, he is working things out for us. And so that for and that forward came to me. And then I thought about a while back sharing about how we can take things to the altar, how we can put things in his hands, and the importance of us leaving them there. And so I want to encourage and remind us about that today as well, because it's very, very hard for us to move forward and we're still holding on to weights that we have not allowed him to lift up from us. And I'm speaking something to you all now because I know what it's like to try to handle even that on your own, where you think that I can work through all of this on my own. But I'm going to tell you something. Once you turn it over to him, really turn it over to him and let him work on it in his timing, you will begin to feel the weights just releasing from you. And then that opens up the opportunities for peace, for joy. Your faith is definitely increased because you know that he did that. So we don't have to feel as though we are alone because he is for us. And he wants us to be able to move forward. Yes, we learn from various experiences that we go through. But the thing is, and like I say, I try to be as transparent as I can be. Not because I want for people to look at me a certain way, but I want for you to understand that I'm human and I know what it's like when you're going through something and you're really going through and you want it to be fixed. You want it to be corrected. And so you try to do all these things in your way to fix it or correct it. But I'm telling you from my experience that when I learned to yield and to hand it over to him, I was able to forgive myself for some things. Truly forgive, not just stay stuck, because when we stay stuck, we stunt our growth. And I was able to forgive others. And so once we can really, really yield to him, once we can really allow him to really work for us. See, sometimes we block ourselves from growth because we try to do it all on our own. But he's there all the time. And as I stated, he will place people when you least expect it sometimes that come through. I'm talking about come through. And you're like, wow, I really needed that word. I really needed that piece of advice that you had, because that's something that's been in my mind, but I didn't even know where to start. So I want us to remember that. And we talked about even on Monday how he's not finished with us yet. So if he's for us, then that means we can move forward through him, through his guidance, and being obedient to him and remembering his way of doing things, because we can have very good intentions with things sometimes, but it's nothing like going to the Father, consulting with him about a thing that he already know about, but you go to him and you like, Father, I need some help with this. I need some help with this. And then he works it out. He fights our battles for us. There's that for again. He fights our battles for us. So you all know how I love to do. I love to provide spiritual nourishment from what I like to call the book of life, but it is better known as the Holy Bible. So let's see what we have for today. Romans 8:31. What then shall we say to these things? If God is for us, who is against us? Psalms 103. Know that the Lord himself is God. It is he who has made us and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Psalms 124:2. Had it not been the Lord who was on our side when men rose up against us. Matthew 10:20. And this one really, really sat with me. For it is not you who speak, but it is the Spirit of your Father who speaks in you. I'm going to repeat that one. Matthew 10:20. For it is not you who speak, but it is the Spirit of your Father who speaks in you. So as we recap on what we're talking about today, and I know we've talked about various things, and I've learned, and I shared this so many times, the importance of being obedient to him. Because I'm going to be honest with you all. I had no way of knowing which way things were going to go this morning because so many things were coming to me. And so I'm thankful that he is allowing me to be able to make sense and to be coherent with what I'm saying, with what he's allowing me to be able to say through him. So I want us to remember on this 4 Friday that he is for us. He cares for us. He made us. He wants us to have abundant lives. And through him, we can move forward and we can advance. We don't have to stay stuck in a cycle, And he has the power. There is power in the name of Jesus. He can break those cycles for us. And then we can go back and we can tell others of the things that he has done in our lives. And that's part of moving forward as well. Giving back. Encouraging others. When we recognize needs, asking him, what would you have me to do in this situation? And I love how he speaks for me because at times, I don't even know what to say. Whether it's a conversation with someone else and they're telling me about something and I'm just silent, I'm listening, I'm taking everything in, and I'm also consulting him because I need him to guide me on what to say. Or it could be something as simple as me just being present, just being there in the moment for whoever it is that needs me. And so, like I've stated before, he places us in others' lives and he places others in our lives. He works like that. He's for us. He knows when we've been trying and when we struggled and we just feel like we can't overcome it. He knows. And so he works things out for us. So let's continue to trust in him. Let's recognize that it's not too late. Even today, if we feel as though we need to turn closer to him, draw closer to him, maybe we have been getting distracted with things. It could even be good things that we've been getting distracted with, but we feel as though I need to give him more time. I need to consult with him to see if this path that I'm planning on taking, if this is in his will. We have that time to do that today. And so I'm encouraging us to remember, he is for us. So even when you feel as though traps are being set up or people are doing you wrong or this and that, he sees everything. He knows everything. We take it to the master and we allow the master to work things out. So he's for us. He's for us. And we can move forward through him. Good morning, Aunt Jessie. Good morning. And y'all already know I'm not coming with anything but positive vibes, love, joy, increase in faith, a sense of hope. For Friday. And moving forward. And peace.